Good evening, night travelers, and welcome back to Dusk and Dreams. I'm Yarrow, and tonight we're doing something a little different. Last Friday, under the silver glow of a full moon, you flew with my alter ego, wild dragons, into myth and mystery. But on Tuesday nights, we return to the cabin. We pull the chair closer to the fire, the kettle close enough to feel its heat, and talk about the practical magic of sleep science. This is where myth meets method, where quiet curiosity becomes small, powerful changes in your real life. Tonight's episode is Sleep Hygiene, the Science of a Better Night's Rest. That phrase, sleep hygiene, may sound clinical, but here it isn't a sterile checklist. It's about ritual, about designing your own gateway to rest, the way our ancestors once used sunset, firelight, cool air, and quiet rituals to tell their bodies, the day is over, the night is safe. And tonight, we'll not only talk about the science of things, we'll also get into crafting your own science-backed magic for entry into restful, restorative nights. All of us have been there, lying awake at 1:30 a.m., staring at the ceiling, scrolling, tossing, bargaining with sleep. I learned the hard way too. As an executive juggling projects, travel, and a restless brain, I thought I could power through nights on caffeine and spreadsheets. But it turns out the body keeps its own cosmic schedule, no matter how clever we think we are, and it will eventually collect the debt of every lost hour. So tonight we're going to explore how to pay that debt back before it's due. We'll look at why light and darkness shape your brain, how your environment and habits quietly set your circadian rhythm, and why modern neuroscience now confirms what ancient cultures already knew. A deliberate ritual before sleep isn't just comforting. It's biologically powerful. By the end, you'll have a menu of tools and ideas to build your own nighttime sanctuary, whether that's a single candle, a weighted blanket, a digital sunset, or a new way of breathing. So take a breath, join me here by the lake, and let the sounds of it outside this cabin lap against your mind. Feel the air cool around you. Imagine your own favorite nighttime drink in your hands, and let's step together into the science of better rest. Let's start at the beginning, before the apps, before the gadgets, before the glowing blue light. For most of human history, sleep wasn't something you optimized. It was something you honored as inevitable and as necessary as breathing. When the sun went down, darkness came on like a slow tide, and your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm, responded automatically to the change in light, temperature, and sound. No one had to tell your brain it was time to power down. The sky itself was your signal. Then came the light bulb, the screen, the constant hum of a 24-hour world, and our brains, which evolved to track the subtle shifts of dawn and dusk, started losing their cues. We still make melatonin, our natural sleep hormone, but we blunt it with indoor light, scrolling, late-night emails, and caffeine that lingers long past lunch. The result? We're tired but wired, lying awake while our nervous system clings to high alert as if predators still lurked in the dark. That's why sleep hygiene matters. Not because it's a trendy phrase, but because it's about restoring the conditions our nervous system expects. You don't need to become a monk or build a sleep chamber. What you need is a handful of simple habits that reliably tell your brain, the day is over, the night is safe. When you do that consistently, your body begins to prepare for deep rest automatically, just like it did for millennia. Think of sleep hygiene as a series of sensory cues: light, temperature, sound, scent, touch. These aren't random wellness tips. They're the levers your nervous system uses to regulate itself. Modern neuroscience calls this your parasympathetic state, the branch of your nervous system responsible for rest, digestion, healing, and immune function. Every time you dim the lights, slow your breath, lower the temperature, or do a ritual act like brushing your teeth slowly or sipping a warm drink, you're activating that parasympathetic mode. You're telling your body, no fight, no flight, just rest. In a few minutes, I'll give you a menu of specific practices to try. But first, I want you to feel how ancient this is. Imagine, if you will, standing outside a cabin on the dock. The moonlight pools on the water, cool air against your skin. In the distance, a fire flickers. Not a fireplace, but the kind of fire our ancestors once sat beside at dusk. That firelight was their blue light filter, the stars above, their circadian app, the rhythmic chirp of crickets, their white noise machine. They were doing sleep hygiene before the term even existed. When you hear people say, "I've tried everything and I still can't sleep," it's often because they've treated sleep as an afterthought instead of a ritual. But your brain is trainable. It loves patterns. Give it a consistent wind down, and it will eventually respond. You can think of sleep hygiene not as a list of rules, but as a night language, a way of communicating safety to your nervous system. And that's why we're here tonight. Because reclaiming your night isn't about chasing the latest hack. It's about reclaiming the signals your body evolved to trust. Take light, for example. Light is the language your body reads first. Long before clocks or alarms, before your phone's blue glow, the sun itself told every cell in your body what time it was. That's not poetry. It's biology. Inside your eyes are tiny, specialized cells, melanopsin ganglion cells. They don't care about shape or color. They only care about brightness and wavelength. They're your built-in dawn detectors. When they see bright light, especially blue-rich light around 460 to 480 nanometers, they tell your brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, "Wake up. It's daytime. Cortisol on. Melatonin off." In the morning, that's perfect. Morning light spikes your cortisol in a healthy way, boosts alertness, and sets your circadian rhythm so you'll naturally feel sleepy 14 to 16 hours later. But at night, that same blue light is a cruel trick. It's like pouring espresso into your bloodstream at bedtime. And here's where our modern world sabotages us. We have replaced sunset and candlelight with thousands of tiny suns in our hands. Phones, TVs, laptops, tablets, all blasting blue light straight into our most sensitive night receptors. The glow may feel harmless, but your brain reads it as noon. Melatonin stays locked away, REM cycles delay, and your deep, slow wave sleep, the part that repairs your body, shrinks. You might still clock 7 hours, but you'll wake up foggy because your sleep architecture has been dismantled by your screen. If you've ever scrolled TikTok at midnight, felt wired at 2 a.m., then wondered why you were groggy at 7 a.m., congratulations. You've been punked by photons. It's not willpower, it's biology. That's why the first rule of modern sleep hygiene is this: treat light like fire. Bright in the morning, dim at night. Use it consciously. In the evening, shift your lights toward the colors of sunset, amber, red, or soft gold. On screens, activate night shift or check out the Flux app to help do it automatically. Or better yet, just put the phone away entirely for the last 30 to 60 minutes before bed. You're not just reducing glare, you're literally telling your hormones what time it is. Ancient people already knew this intuitively. They built their evenings around firelight, oil lamps, and moonlight. That flickering orange spectrum, it barely touches the melanopsin cells. It's a natural melatonin protector. When you sit by firelight or a single candle, you're giving your nervous system the same cue your ancestors trusted for thousands of years. Night has come, and it's safe to rest. You can do this right now. One small lamp with a warm bulb, a candle, a salt lamp, even a string of dim fairy lights. The goal is the same. Create an environment that says sunset, not high noon. Then, in the morning, go outside within the first hour of waking. Let real sunlight hit your eyes, even if it's cloudy. Morning light anchors your body clock like nothing else. It spikes your cortisol in a good way and starts your internal countdown to sleep later. I like to think of it as a digital sunset and a solar sunrise. At night, you dim the world and your devices. In the morning, you expose yourself to as much natural light as possible. Do it for a week, and you'll start to feel your circadian rhythm lock into place, like a compass needle settling north. Now, let's move from light to environment and ritual, the textures, temperatures, and sensory anchors you can use to tell your body, we're done for the day. Because while light sets the clock, everything else builds the sanctuary. If light is your circadian compass, then your environment is your harbor. This is where you prepare your body to leave the day behind and dock safely in the night. Across cultures, the space of sleep was never neutral. It was curated. It was sacred. Think of the sleeping quarters in a Shinto temple, the carefully woven mats, the uncluttered space, or the Roman lararium, a household shrine tucked into the corner of the home where nightly offerings anchored the day. Even quaint village huts often had a designated corner for rest, set apart from the chaos of cooking or commerce. The message was clear. Night is a threshold, and thresholds deserve respect. Aside from light, one of the simplest but most powerful cues you can give your nervous system is temperature. Our core body temperature naturally drops at night to cue sleep. Ancients knew this instinctively. Think of nomads sleeping under cool desert skies with only a small fire at their feet, or Nordic traditions of cold rooms, warm blankets. In modern terms, aim for a slightly cooler bedroom, around 63 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius for most people, while keeping your bedding cozy. Crack a window if the weather allows. Let your body feel the shift from warm evening air to cool night air. Sound is another potent anchor. Every culture had its lullabies, chants, or ambient noises, from desert wind to monastery bells. Today you can build a sound sanctuary, a smooth tone from a Tibetan bowl at the same time each night, a soft playlist of brown noise or distant waves, or even just the ritual of turning on a gentle fan. Repetition signals safety. And if you struggle with racing thoughts at night, experiment with a sound that becomes your full stop, a chime, a 3-note hum, or a single bell you strike when you're ready for sleep. Over time, your brain will learn. This sound means off-duty. Interestingly for many, Touch is the forgotten sense of sleep hygiene. Cultures have always wrapped the body to mark transitions. Sacred blankets, prayer shawls, robes reserved for evening. Choose one item, a soft blanket, a scarf, even socks, that you only use in your wind-down time. Over weeks, it becomes a sensory anchor. The moment you touch it, your body knows the day is done. Weighted blankets can amplify this effect, tapping into deep pressure stimulation that lowers cortisol and increases serotonin, your precursor to melatonin. There's also threshold rituals, many of which have drifted through and from collective minds. Doorways and windows have always been liminal spaces. In Celtic homes, a candle at the window was a nightly ritual of protection. In parts of West Africa, a small chant at the door sealed the night in. You can create your own threshold ritual. Each night, open a window or step briefly outside. Breathe the night air for a few cycles. Maybe try the 4-7-8 breathing pattern. Then gently close the window with intention. You're symbolically sealing away the day, telling your nervous system the outside world stays out and inside is for rest. And don't forget about the sense of smell. Scent travels straight to the limbic system, bypassing the usual cortical gatekeepers. That's why even a single aroma can flood you with calm. From Chinese herbal steam bowls to cedar smudging in the Americas, rising scent was purifier and prayer combined. You can mimic this with a mug of chamomile or lavender tea, or by placing a handful of dried herbs in hot water and breathing the steam for a minute before bed. This small act of inhalation is both chemical and symbolic, clearing the air, calming the nerves. Evening bathing as a sacred transition into rest is relatively well known, but for good reason. It continues to be an excellent routine to get into the nightly rest state, so is something worth mentioning again here. In Japan, onsen baths mark the body's reset. In Rome, the thermi were both social and sacred, places to leave the day's grime and gossip behind before slipping into evening. You can create your own micro version, a warm bath, or even a shower 60 to 90 minutes before bed. The heat dilates your blood vessels, and when you step out and your skin cools, your core temperature drops, naturally cueing melatonin. It's like saying to your body, the day has ended, a new state begins. Finally, consider what your eyes see as you enter your sleep space. Clutter equals cognitive noise. The ancients knew this. Temples and sleeping chambers were simple and intentional. Modern neuroscience agrees. Less visual chaos lowers mental load. You don't need a total makeover. Just clear the surfaces nearest your bed. A single candle or a beloved object by your bedside can act as your night talisman. As I said before, these aren't just tips. They're ways of signaling to your primal self that you're safe. A nightly ceremony, not a checklist. Think of your bedroom as your modern temple tonight. And you, the ritual keeper. Because when environment and ritual work together, your nervous system stops guessing and starts resting. Let's zoom out and take another look at your whole night environment for a bit. Because even the most beautiful ritual can falter if the stage itself isn't set. Think of your bedroom as a small temple of rest. It doesn't need to be expensive or elaborate. What it needs is intentionality. First, temperature. Most bodies sleep best around 63 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, or 18 degrees Celsius. That slight drop in temperature tells your circadian system night has come. It mirrors the ancient practice of sleeping in cool, ventilated spaces, Egyptian dark chambers, Japanese wooden houses with open shoji screens, or nomadic desert tents that cooled dramatically at night. Next, darkness. Block out stray light, blackout curtains, eye masks, or even simply turning off every LED indicator you can. Darkness signals the pineal gland to release melatonin. It's not superstition, it's biology. Our ancestors' bedrooms were firelight and starlight at their best. Darkness was the default. Third, sound. Choose your soundscape deliberately. Total silence is golden for some, but for many, steady noise masks the unpredictable creaks and clatters that trigger micro-awakenings. This is why brown or white noise machines work, and why ancient homes often had fountains, hearth crackle, or even allowed crickets near sleeping spaces. You're recreating a steady, safe acoustic environment. Then we have textile anchors. Cultures have always used textiles as a physical cue. Weighted blankets, soft shawls, or breathable linen sheets can provide both sensory grounding and thermoregulation. In Egypt, perfumed linens were common. In Rome, light woven blankets for summer, heavy furs for winter. In Japan, minimalist bedding with clean, spare lines acts as a visual lullaby. Choose a fabric you only associate with sleep. Over time, it becomes a cue, a kind of Pavlovian hug. And finally, the visual field. Your nervous system is reading the room even when your eyes are shut. Visual noise is a real disruptor. Clutter signals unfinished business and subtle stress. Think of the monastic minimalism of Japanese homes, or the organized Roman atrium, where sleep chambers were kept perfumed but spare. A few minutes spent clearing your nightstand or folding laundry can pay dividends in sleep quality. Now, besides setting up your bedroom sanctuary, there are still disruptors that can worm their way in and cause havoc with your haven. Let's touch on the most common ones and how to outsmart them quickly. First, caffeine. Its half-life is about 6 hours. A latte at 4 p.m. can still be at half strength at 10 p.m., long past your bedtime. Ancients drank herbal infusions after dark for a reason. Next, alcohol. Yes, it sedates you. No, it doesn't let you rest. Alcohol fragments deep sleep and REM, leaving you groggy even if you slept 8 hours. Consider switching to an herbal tea like lemon balm or tulsi at night. Another is late-night eating. Digestion competes with your body's nighttime repair processes. Aim to leave at least 2 hours between your last meal and lying down. And many of us deal with anxiety spirals. The brain's default mode network loves to activate at night. This is survival programming, scanning for threats when external cues are absent. Outsmart it by writing your worries down before bed, then closing the notebook, a modern version of laying your burdens at the altar. Bring back your 4-7-8 breath or box breathing to ease the transition. Even 2 minutes can be enough to tell your vagus nerve, off duty now. When you combine these environmental tweaks with your internal rituals, you're recreating what our ancestors had naturally: darkness, cool air, a safe space, sensory anchors, and a clear psychological threshold. These small acts aren't luxuries. They're signals to your nervous system, ancient and modern at once. Now that your environment is softened, it's time to bring the same care to your inner world. If your room is your temple, then your mind is the altar. This is where you decide what to lay down before you cross the threshold into sleep. One way to do so is to think of breath as a bridge. Every culture that honored the night has a form of breath practice. The Sufis call it dhikr, remembrance through breath, and mantra. Yogic pranayama uses specific ratios to quiet the mind. Even monastic orders had structured chants that doubled as breathing guides. When you slow and pattern your breath, you're not just calming your mind. You're directly tapping the vagus nerve, the switch for your parasympathetic rest and restore mode. A simple starting place is the 4-7-8 breath we've used before. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. This was inspired by ancient pranayama ratios but verified by modern sleep clinicians. And within a few rounds, your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, and your nervous system begins the descent into rest. Another way to prime the mind is with dream incubation cues. In ancient Greece, seekers at the temples of Asclepius prepared for incubation sleep. They bathed, fasted, inhaled incense, and fell asleep on sacred skins, believing the god would send healing dreams. Modern neuroscience now confirms that the mind takes cues right before sleep and weaves them into dreams. A whispered phrase, a scent, or an image can become the seed of your night. Consider trying it tonight. As you lie down, think of one word or image you'd like to dream about. A garden, a mountain, a feeling of release. Repeat it softly with each breath. Basically, you're telling your hippocampus what to tag as important. Now, if you carry worry or tension, create a vessel of release. This echoes folk customs from Bengal to Brittany. Hold a small stone, bead, or leaf in your hand. Imagine your anxious thoughts moving from your head into that object. Place it in a bowl or on your nightstand. You've externalized it. This is about embodied cognition, not superstition. You're intentionally giving your mind permission to let go. And don't forget about the sound cues. Earlier, we spoke about sound in your environment, but you can also use sound as an internal cue. A soft chime at the end of your journaling, a whispered mantra, a single, regular, full stop note. Over time, your limbic system links this sound with off-duty mode, like Pavlov's bell, but for your parasympathetic nervous system. Of course, as many of you know, a cup of warm tea or simply inhaling herbal steam, lavender, chamomile, mugwort, combines chemical and sensory effects. Did you know, though, that inhaled molecules travel through the olfactory bulb straight to your limbic system, bypassing your logical filters? This is why a scent before bed can so easily become a shortcut to a calm state, especially if repeated. Think about it. Remember a soft scent. Close your eyes and picture a moonlit path, for example. Soft scents of pine, lake winds, and campfire smoke gently drift your way. Imagine stepping onto the path, barefoot. The air cool but kind. Each step takes you further from the noise of the day. A lantern swings in your hand, your chosen ritual, your anchor. At the end of the path, there's a door of soft moonlight. When you pass through, you're in the territory of dreams. You can create this visual every night. Your nervous system will learn to associate it with letting go. Your breath, your chosen word, your vessel of release, your sound or scent. These are not chores, they're bridges. Each one tells your primal self, You're safe now. You've stepped from day into night, from doing into dreaming, from noise into knowing. Tonight, we've walked through ancient baths and sacred thresholds, through cool rooms and warm blankets, through sound, scent, and breath. You've seen how your environment, your habits, and your inner rituals all converge to shape your night. Now, let's take a quiet moment together to design your own sleep hygiene blueprint. This is where the science becomes your magic. And the best way to start? Visualization. Close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Take one slow breath in through your nose, hold for a heartbeat, and exhale through your mouth. Feel the air around you, the surface beneath you, and the quiet of the night wrapping you. Now picture yourself about 2 or 3 hours before bedtime. Maybe you're in your kitchen, your living room, your own sacred corner. In this mental scene, see the light begin to dim, screens going off, lamps glowing warm amber. Hear the background noise softening. No TV blare, no frantic scrolling, just a soundtrack of your choice. Soft rain, a single note, silence. Now picture your body moving in a small ritual of your own making. Maybe you're steeping a tea, or stepping into a warm shower, or pulling on a certain sweater that signals this is the winding down hour. Maybe you're breathing slowly, writing a line or two in a journal, or striking a gentle chime to end the day. Whatever it is, make it vivid. See your hands doing it. Hear the sound. Feel the shift. Next, imagine the room where you'll sleep. See the clutter gone, the temperature cool, fabrics and pillows inviting, curtains drawn or eye mask ready. This is your sanctuary. A space where night knows you're prepared. Picture yourself lying down. Your chosen fabric against your skin. Your breath slow and even. Outside, the lake's ripple keeps a steady rhythm. Above, stars scatter like tiny signals. This is the architecture of your rest. part ancient, part modern, entirely yours. And in this imagined evening, notice one thing you could change to make it just that much better. Maybe it's cutting off caffeine earlier. Maybe it's dimming your phone screen an hour before bed. Or leaving it outside the bedroom entirely. Maybe it's a scent, a sound, or a textile you'll reserve for bedtime. Just one. Let it be small. Let it be kind. This isn't about overhauling your life overnight. It's about layering cues, gentle and consistent, until your nervous system trusts the pattern. And now, as you hold that one small change in your mind, take a breath in, drawing in the cool night air, the scent of the lake, the warmth of your own steady heartbeat. Exhale, sending the noise of the day out into the dark. You've crossed the threshold. You've claimed the night. This blueprint isn't a set of rules. It's an act of self-care, a nightly conversation between you and the deepest rhythms of your body. And with that in mind, return to the present. Feel the movement of your fingers, your hands, your arms. The weight and softness of a blanket nearby. Hear the strength of your slow, relaxed heartbeat. Recognizing sleep isn't just the absence of wakefulness. It's a living rhythm, one you can tend like a garden. Each cue, each ritual, each choice is a seed planted in the soil of the night. And with time, they grow into rest that restores not just your body, but your spirit. Thank you for spending this quiet time with me tonight. It's been a privilege to guide you through another night on Dusk and Dreams. If this podcast helps you find peace, spark creativity, or simply offers a moment of captivating escape, please consider following or subscribing wherever you listen. Your support helps us build this community of night-minded souls. We're available on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Amazon, as well as many others. To learn more about the show or connect with me and the Dragon's Dusk and Dreams team, visit our website at breakgrid.com or follow at Yarrow Diamond on Instagram. If this journey sparked an idea or gave you a moment to breathe, I'd love for you to share it, because these nights we build together aren't just a podcast. They're a gathering and a community. Speaking of community, return to us next for a Mythical Friday episode on night omens, folklore, and haunting beasts. We'll trace the Black Shuck, the Barghest, the Maudie Dew, and more, plus what these archetypes reveal about how humans encode fear and fate. Until then, may your room be cool, your lights low, and your rituals gentle. Thank you again for listening with an open mind and open heart. Feel free to share your own stories, whether that's with me or the moon in the night sky. And remember, the night listens back.